Hey guys, this is Gabriel Lorenzi, creator of the blog Grupo Dicas, one of the biggest travel blogs in the world, and today I'm here to talk to you about how to save a lot in your trip to Cancun. It will be a complete video, very nice, with all the tips and step-by-step instructions for you to plan your entire trip to Cancun while saving a lot on everything. So keep in mind there will be very quick and easy tips, so don't forget to give us a like on the video, my friends, subscribe to our channel, this is very important and helps us, and buckle up. Well, Cancun is an amazing place. You can be sure that your trip will be incredible. It was one of the places that we liked the most in the world. So we're gonna teach you here how to plan your entire trip from the beginning to the end, hiring all services, car rental, if you are renting, travel insurance, hotels, airfare, internet chip, and also how to save a lot there on tours, shopping, and restaurants. Anyway, all the tips for you to be complete, for you to be able to assemble it entirely and save the most on everything so you can save a lot of money. Well, the first thing that will have a big influence on your trip to Cancun is the season. Unlike other places, the season does not influence the price as much. For example, if you go to Paris or Orlando, the prices are much higher if you go in the high seasons, but there's no such difference in Cancun. It's more expensive, but not so much, because there is sunny weather all year round, so there is no bad month for you to go to Cancun. So try to avoid the high season, that is December and January, which are the end of the year parties. It gets crowded and prices go up a lot, and also the months of February and March, because it's like their winter there, more or less. There is no rain, it's a season that has no rain, and the weather is perfect, enjoyable, so it gets crowded too. From May to November is the low season in Cancun. If you travel in these months, you will start saving a lot and everything will be emptier. You end up enjoying your trip much more and there's gonna be a lot less people. After deciding upon the date, you have to reserve all the services. To start planning a trip is the air ticket, the first item, and it's one of the most expensive. There's no way to get away from it, but you can save a lot. Yes, you can do it. The first and the main tip is to search all airlines, because some offer promotion and cheaper prices. So make a research about all of them. We have a very nice tool that we use, which is a website with a price comparison tool. I'll leave the link here in the video description and you click on show more. I'll leave this link with all the others that I'll quote here in the video listed here and explain it to you. The site brings together all the companies. It's a search mechanism for airline tickets. If you search for it, it will give you all the tickets available to Cancun on the date you put it with the best prices. They have excellent prices. On our last trips, we managed to get lower prices than we imagined, so it's an amazing tool. Have in mind there is no direct flight to Cancun, it must have a stopover, so it's normal, very relaxed, and super easy. Other quick tips to save you money on flights: weekend flights are usually more expensive, night flights are also a little bit more expensive, so try to catch some other flights with more connections are cheaper as well. If you don't care about travel time and want to save a lot, check out the flights with 2 stopovers, which end up being cheaper than those with only one, so that way you're going to be able to save a lot on the airlines. That's one of the most expensive items. Another important item for you to consider on your trip to Cancun, usually the most expensive item which will consume the largest part of your budget, is the place to stay. Everyone knows that Cancun is the place that has those wonderful resort hotels. The good news is that they are cheap, but let me explain what kind of cheap. They are cheap compared to other places in the world. A 4 or 5-star Cancun resort hotel you would get in the United States, Europe, or elsewhere you would pay a lot more for, almost twice the price, so the cost is low, yeah. So it's an excellent opportunity for you to try to live and experience in the best hotels. You have the all-inclusive options. We made a video talk about that because many people have doubts. All-inclusive is when you pay a little more for accommodation. When the hotel is inclusive, you have everything included, like drinks, breakfast, food all day, alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks, so you end up spending nothing when you are inside the hotel. It's an excellent option for those who want to enjoy the hotel a lot, stay there a lot, but you also need to see if it's worth it or not. Calculate the price of how much more an all-inclusive hotel would give to a non-all-inclusive hotel, see your travel style and watch our video that will end up clarifying a lot too, but in comparison it's not expensive. If you want to save a lot, now let's talk about location, which is very important for enjoying your trip to Cancun. There's the hotel zone, that is the main tourist attraction of Cancun. It's there where you'll find all the famous tourist hotels. It has a lot of hotels. It's a coast that you see that's shaped like a 7. As you can see here on the map, there are scattered hotels and the main clubs and bars. There it's located the club Cocobongo, a very famous tourist spot in Cancun. It's also there where you can find the malls, the main places for shopping, so it's a tourist area that we recommend that you stay. Even more if it's your first trip to Cancun, we think that it's the best place for you to stay. And there are cheap options if you follow some tips that we'll give, but if you want to save a lot, if you have that maximum savings mentality, there is always the cheapest option, which is stay downtown. If you leave the beach a little bit, going further to the middle of Cancun, you will get more affordable options, but you will not enjoy that beach atmosphere. You'll be able to do the tours, everything, but you will end up staying a bit far away from this tourist area, which is a little bit of the essence, the animation and the bustle of Cancun. Another important tip for you to save a lot in hosting is the advance. Guys, it's good to purchase your hotel reservation early. The air tickets, the car rental ends up influencing a lot. Why is that? As the hotel rooms run out, they increase the price, so as time goes by, the best hotels run out, the cheapest ones run out, and the worst options remain. So make your reservation as early as possible. We were able to make a very nice and personalized map for you. I will leave it here in the description, here the link of a hotel search engine that we use to make our trips, which is the largest in the world. You certainly know because they always have the best prices. So we put a map, you click and it will open a map of the area that we think is the best location. If you stay inside this map, you'll be able to do the best possible location in this defined area. Then you put your dates, see the hotels that are within this region, and you will indeed find one or another very good, very cheap, like a 4-star. They are not expensive. You can get a 5-star too. Our first time in a 5-star hotel was in Cancun. We managed to have this opportunity because it is much cheaper than elsewhere. And the good thing about doing your research is that you have free cancellation. So the tip is come in, make the reservation as far in advance as possible and already guarantee a reasonable price. If you later want to change your room, hotel or region, in short, you cancel and make a new reservation, but it's good to guarantee your spot. Another cool tip is the internet chip for you to use your cell phone in Cancun, or you'll be limited to use the hotel's Wi-Fi and most are paid. Yes, you have to pay to use the Wi-Fi inside the hotel. You leave the hotel a lot, you do a lot of tours around the city, you go shopping, so you'll be leaving and returning from the hotel and you need the internet. For that, it's good to have a prepaid chip card. You can activate your international roaming from your operator in your country, but it's the worst possible option. The cost is very high, the account generated is a fortune, it's always the worst option by far. So buy the prepaid chip. You can buy it in Cancun when you get there. We do not recommend this because it takes a lot of work, like going to an operator in a foreign country, waiting to be attended, so it's a waste of time. We always buy in our country. Some companies sell the international chip, which is very good. I'll even leave the link here of a company down here in the video description. This is the one we used on our last trips. I think of 10 or 12 of companies which are very good and work everywhere, and the service is excellent. They are an excellent company. We went to their website and in 4 or 5 minutes we made the purchase. We received the chip at home in a few days. They sent us. It was super fast. When we got there, we put it in our cell phones and quietly used the internet. So it was the cheapest option and the most practical option too. You will use it in the hotel in Cancun a lot, on the tours, and use it as a GPS and locator. If you rent a car, you can use your cell phone as GPS, and of course to post things on social networks and communicate with people. So buy your chip in your own country. It's gonna be a lot easier. And speaking of travel planning, another item that you have to get is international travel insurance. If you haven't gotten it before and don't know what it is, people, for the love of God, get it. Do not leave your country without travel insurance because it's very important. It will cover you for any unseen expenses that may arise. Could be medical assistance, medical consultation, hospitalization. Those are very expensive. Medical bills are a fortune in places outside your country. There is coverage for lost and loss of luggage at the airport. There are several coverage and it's cheap. We always use a price comparison tool. It's the same as the air ticket and car rental tool, which is still comment on. It compares all the rental companies and show you all the options, searches for you, and gets the best price, skyrocketing. So I'm going to leave the link down here too. We used it on our last trip, which we spent almost 10 days in Cancun with great insurance for $23–25. It depends on the price of the dollar, but take a look because it's worth it for you to travel peacefully. Do not try to save with this by not purchasing the travel insurance because you can have many losses. And it's super easy and fast. In less than 5 minutes, you can make the purchase, enter your data, and everything will be solved for you. Remember that Cancun doesn't need a visa, people. You only need your passport. If you have a valid passport, you can enter Cancun normally. So get your passport. In my country, it costs around $50. It was very fast and very easy. It was much easier than the visa for other countries. So the passport was quick. We went to our immigration website and we did everything there with no problem. Oh, and if you have any doubts, it's not silly. Whatever questions you may have, please send us a direct message or messages on social media. We'll be glad to help. Follow us there. We are always traveling around the world trying to show the travel tips in a very cool way, and showing our family routine with our little one is amazing. So follow us there. Whatever questions you send to us, we'll walk you through and help you with no problem. Just go there and send us a message. Wrapping up about services you have to purchase and plan for your trip is the ultimate tip of all the tours and shopping, the things you will do there in the car rental. A lot of people end up renting a car in Cancun. I don't think it's essential like other places, for example Orlando, California and Italy. In places like this you need a car. In Cancun you can even manage without one, but a car is very cheap there. The difference between Cancun and Mexico in general is the price. It was the cheapest car rental we have done worldwide. I think it was in Chile and Mexico, so it was very cheap. People rent because of the price. You rent there at the airport, and the tip is this: do not rent in a small company. There are some small companies with promotions, but they will only cause a headache. We have several reports complaining about it, so purchase through the big rental companies. The ones at the airports are good companies for you to save a lot. Why is that? When you arrive at the airport, you need a taxi or an Uber to get to the hotel, right? This trip to the hotel and back to the airport will cost you almost half of your car rental there because it's very cheap, so people prefer to rent. Most hotels, the central hotels that are the largest and the ones we usually stay in, are the most touristic. They have free parking, so you arrive, leave the car there, even if you don't use it for a few days because you will be enjoying the hotel a lot or going on trips with a company that goes by bus and brings you back by bus. It's worth it because of the route, and if you want to take a drive afterwards to get to know the beaches that are nearby, go to Tulum, which is very fast too. It's an hour and a half or 2 hours, so there are lots of cool rides for you to do. With the car you can go to nearby malls. It ends up making it a lot easier. You don't have to wait for buses or take buses. There are buses and you can use them, but it ends up being much faster with the car. And the tip of the car is to use the price comparison too, just like personal travel insurance used to. I'll leave the link down here. It's a price comparison tool for cars, which is the biggest search engine in the world. They compare all the rental companies that exist in Cancun. It's cheap using this rental company because they have very strong negotiations due to the high volume of the reservations. By using the comparison tool, you get even better prices. Do some research. Just out of curiosity, you see the price is very low and very worthwhile. And to rent, you only need to have your passport and your driver's license valid, so make sure this document is up to date, otherwise you can't get your car. And now let's talk about a big part of your trip to Cancun, which are the tours. Cancun is a place where you do a lot of sightseeing. There are many cool things outside Cancun for you to visit. There are long outings that you do and consume almost an entire day of your trip. So plan, organize your day so that you can enjoy both of the hotel and the tours, because there are a lot of nice outings. For example, there is Chichen Itza, one of the world's modern 7 wonders you have to visit. It's only 3 or 4 hours away, so you will spend almost the whole day getting there and back. There are some islands like Isla Mujeres, which is very nice and close to there. There is also Cozumel, which is one of the most beautiful islands in the world for diving. You can go snorkeling there. The diving is wonderful, it's awesome. There is Xcaret, an amazing archaeological park, a very beautiful place where you can do many things. Dive with fish, see all kinds of animals of the most varied species. They have stingrays, sharks, alligators, and finally it's a beautiful place. You spend the whole day there, so you have to schedule yourself properly because there's a lot of walking. And you need to include this in your budget. It's no use, you have to go. There's also swimming with dolphins that are very characteristic for those who go to Cancun. Everyone wants to return with a photo kissing the dolphin's nose, so take a look. You have to include these tours, there's no way. But there's a way to save. No, 2 ways. One, if you have the car and feel comfortable doing the tours, you can buy the entrance tickets, look on the internet beforehand, buy and go straight with the car, venture there and feel free to go by yourself. And there's the second option that we like a lot. We think it ended up being the best and most peaceful, which is hiring travel agencies. Last time we found an excellent agency and that was nice. They are very good and known there in Cancun, so they helped us plan all the tours. They do all the tours in Cancun. They are excellent, and then you can close all of these tours with them. And what happens? It ends up being much cheaper than buying it on the spot. Every hotel has a travel agency downstairs, which you see that they have tours, but it's always more expensive. Of course, they know that people will try to do the tour anyway, so they end up charging more. If you buy before on the internet, buying with these agencies is always cheaper, and you do not pay your country's taxes because the transaction is in pesos or dollars. So several things make the tour cheaper and easier too. For you to travel with your schedule already organized, with the tickets for the tours up to date, so you don't have to worry about that there either. I'll leave the link here about this agency, and they are excellent. You fill in your contacts there, they will contact you through WhatsApp, they help you set all the tours, explain everything to you correctly, and they have all these tours. Their boats, all their transports are very good. They always pick you up at the hotel's door and then drop you off at the hotel. So to make these tours more remote, these tours involve a larger structure. They know everything and it ends up being very worthwhile. Take a look there. These tours are a little expensive because they are very cool tours and it offers an enjoyable experience, so there's no escape from that. But it's possible to save a lot with all the tips we're giving. And now let's talk about the shopping tip. Always when we make this video on how to save in places, we give several tips to save a lot on your purchases. In Cancun, it's challenging to save money because there are not many outlets, department stores, and those places with very cheap clothes. They have an outlet there, but we don't find it much cheaper than the mall, so our tip is, if you want to shop, go to the malls. In the hotel area, there are two really cool ones, La Isla and the Cancun. Wonderful. The Cancun is the most beautiful of all. It's super modern, it's very cool for you to stroll and get around, and there are all the stores everybody knows like Nike, Adidas, Puma, Calvin Klein, Victoria's Secret, Forever, and H&M, which are very good and have cheap clothes. It's a nice store for you to visit if you haven't already. Anyway, there are several stores and there's not much to escape. There's the tax that every tourist can receive back, around 90% for purchases. So you go to a store and buy the minimum amount they charge. All stores have a sticker, they already have it on the counter and they inform you correctly. If you buy a certain minimum value, it cannot be any purchase. An amount above a stipulated amount in that store, you receive this tax refund, which is the same in Europe as it is, but it's different there. In Cancun, it's called tax back. You will see money back, but you will quickly see it there at the counter. At the cashier, when paying, the store already delivers. They ask if you want it, you answer yes. They give you the invoice filled in an envelope, you collect them all, and at the airport in Cancun, you go there at the cabin they have, make the exchange, and then you can get your money back with no problem. It's a tax they have. And another tip is also not to buy souvenirs in tourist places. Be sure to buy the souvenirs you want to bring to people in street stores, in smaller stores. At the hotel, it always ends up being more expensive. If you want a drink, go to Walmart. If you're driving, Walmart is very close there, and it's very cheap. Tequila, drinks, several things are very cheap and different, which is nice to bring, and they are much cheaper than buying in these more tourist shops in the center. You're going to get more money invested. And the contrary tip is for you not to save because it's not worth it. In the videos we made of Europe, we always give the hint of water because the tap water is treated there. You can drink at will and the mineral water that comes in bottles is very expensive. We always talk about not buying mineral water and drinking tap water that's free in restaurants. In Cancun, Mexico, everything is different. Do not drink tap water because it's not treated. We heard many cases of people becoming sick, so it costs a little more, but you have to pay a little more to buy water there. Don't risk drinking tap water because you can't feel sick and this can ruin your entire trip. And another item that we also think is not worth saving a lot are tips. In Mexico, they call bribes. In the United States, it's a tip. There, it's called the bribe. So if they talk about bribes, don't be alarmed. It's very common in the country. There, the bribery is cultural for them. Just like in the United States, everything they do gives bribes to employees. So in the taxi, the tour guides, the tours, the bars, the bartenders who typically serve you drinks in the restaurants always tip afterwards because it's their culture. They do not understand the tourists sometimes not giving, not paying, and not leaving a tip because they were born there and it's their culture. Of course, it's not an obligation, it's not a law, but in our opinion, when you are in the place, it's excellent for you to follow the rules of that culture and adapt to it. But It depends on each one too. In restaurants, it's 18 to 20% if you think it's cool. Then at the end of the bill, sometimes it comes, you sign there and make the payment with the card. In taxis, generally, if you leave about $2 to $3, it's already great. And for the guides who sometimes do the whole tour with you, who are very good and very attentive, people end up giving about $5. You see, people, the Americans who have this culture of tips, people sometimes give $10 to $20 because they like it. They think that this is how it works and makes people provide better services. And the general economy, the people who work actually earn a little bit more money than those who don't work or don't work hard. That's it, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you liked it, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. That really helps us. And be sure to watch the other videos as well. There are very good videos from Cancun. There's the all-inclusive one, whether it's worth it or not. We did a complete analysis. There's the exchange rate question. There's the question of what to do in Cancun. There are the 5 main tours for you to go, because there are a lot of tours. We explain each one, how it works. You can choose correctly. So there's a lot of cool videos. I'll leave the playlist here on the side with all these videos for you to watch and get organized before your trip. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video and have a nice trip.